from Watches on You. We're back again at Wixon Jewelers in Minneapolis, Minnesota, reviewing another watch that we haven't really paid much attention to. This is the Rolex Sky Dweller in Everose Gold. Let's drop down to the inspection pad to get a closer look at this watch. Alright, so now let's take a closer look at this watch. So let's just actually start out with the case. Now this is more general for all Sky Dwellers. The Sky Dweller is available in several different color combinations in addition to this Everose Gold. Most notably, the new Baselworld 2017 release is steel, and we should be reviewing that on this channel hopefully sometime in the next few months. They're not exactly readily available in Minnesota, so we'll just have to wait a little bit. And Rolex is kind of prepping their inventory, I bet, right now. So just moving on to the overall aspects of this case. So it comes with this one is a 42mm Everose Gold case, and it makes it pretty heavy, just as expected for any rose gold watch. But adding to the weight is the complicated movement, which I'd say this is probably the most complicated Rolex. If not, it's kind of tied with the Yachtmaster 2, but those are definitely the two most complicated, and which is why I'm actually so excited to be featuring this on our channel, because we haven't featured one yet of this. And it comes with going into the dial. So the dial on this watch is pretty busy. I'd say it's kind of the most crowded dial of any Rolex, which is actually a good thing because it's so complicated. They call it Sundust, and it's sort of a champagne gold dial. It has a light sunburst effect to it, but it is a quite elegant dial. It looks really, really nice. Very, very high quality with the rose gold numerals and all that. Moving into the complications of this watch, which are perhaps the most interesting thing. So this is an annual calendar, and what that means is it knows how many days are in a month, with the exception of February, due to the 28-day month. So basically it knows every 30 versus 31-day month. And this is opposed to a perpetual calendar, which we've had, I think, at least one, actually two perpetual calendars on our channel. And those can distinguish between leap years, and they know February has 28 days. So you basically never have to set them for, I forget how many years it is, but it's just an insane amount of years. But again, annual calendars are still very complicated and very sought after in the world of watches. Let's actually dive more into how to actually operate this watch. Now, like the Yachtmaster 2, this is a pretty, I'd say, complicated watch to use, but that's, again, a good thing because it has a lot of functionality. So, starting off, the way you sort of manipulate the functions in this watch and set it is through the use of the very thick, fluted Everose Gold bezel. And if you turn it all the way to the right, like it is now, you can't really see because, again, it's fluted, so it's like, it doesn't really have an indicator as to what position you're in, but it's pretty easy to feel. So if you turn it all the way to the left and then pull the crown out, as you can see, you can kind of set everything. So if you need to just sort of set your local time, or it also moves the GMT function, so it's sort of just a quick way to set everything. And if you need to actually manipulate the difference between the GMT function, and which is that ring on the dial there, and the hour hand, you move the bezel over one more to the right, and then pull out, and you've got your jumping hours, and that's also a quick way to set the date too. But then if you move it all, so basically one sort of jump to the left of the starting 0 position, or 3 from the left, you can set the date. Sorry about the focus there. And that's a quick set date, so like a lot of Rolexes, and you can see through the Cyclops there, the date moves pretty fast. But I don't know if you could tell this on the camera. Actually, yeah, you can. There you go. As I change months, right above the indices, there's sort of a space there and a little red indicator, which you can see there is at the 12-hour mark. So I'll move it up a month, and hopefully, did you see that? It jumped to the, oh, actually, sorry, I set it backwards, so it jumped to the 11 o'clock position. And as you move the date, it's a quick set date again, you can move it around the dial very, very quickly, and that tells you what month you're in. So again, because you have 12 months, so 12 hours. I really like how they did that. They sort of accentuated the symmetry between how we determine our dates. So actually, just moving on to the overall case aspects here, this one is on a leather strap. It's a very, very thick, nice leather strap. I really, really like that. And it's also available on a bracelet in a lot of the different colors. Just check out Rolex's website for that. There's so many different combinations. And I'm most excited for the steel on the bracelet because I think that'll be a big seller. It's a greatly reduced price from this one. But again, if you want the rose gold, you got to go kind of step up, and this is a really, really nice watch. So moving actually on to the clasp here. Again, Rolex makes amazing clasps. So you can see I'll close it there. And then this one's pretty interesting in that you pull back. It's not like the type of clasps where there's a little metal part that you pull back. It's on a spring, so you pull this part back, and as you can see, it bends a little bit. And it just makes it's pretty quick to take off the clasp and really easy, which is good, but you would never do it by accident, which is perfect. And the inner clasp is just made beautifully. It's very similar to all the Rolex Submariners. I think it's pretty identical in that you have the Rolex logo here and all that. But the clasp is very, very nice. Alright, so moving on to a wrist shot. As you can see, this watch is extremely comfortable, like all Rolexes are. I mean, they don't mess around when it comes to comfort. I mean, they're the most worn watches, some of the most comfortable watches you can buy, especially with that leather strap that makes it very, very comfortable. The clasp is not at all intrusive into your arm. It's just beautifully fit. It's perfect. I think if I were to purchase this watch, I would get it on the leather band. I think if you got the solid gold band, it'd be a little bit over the top and probably not as comfortable. Commenting on the size, this watch is 42 millimeters, which is slightly larger than a Submariner, but I think it feels a little bit larger than that, more like a 44, just because it's pretty thick. It's much thicker than a Submariner. But still, it's definitely not oversized like a lot of brands do. I would definitely wear it still. It doesn't exceed my size limit at all. So, if you like this watch, please remember to check out Wixon Jewelers if you want to see it up close, which I highly recommend. And if you like this video, please remember to subscribe and share. Thank you.